Hello and welcome. You are going to understand how we can set up high availability cluster using Docker Swarm. Now here, to understand all this process, we are going to use 4 different scenarios. We are starting with scenario number 1, but when we will finish scenario number 4, you will get complete understanding about high availability of Docker Swarm cluster. So let's start. Now here with scenario number 1, we are going with the minimal setup. Here we are going to set up one manager node. Of course, if we have one manager node, it will be manager node with a leader node, and then we are going to set up 2 worker nodes. Definitely you have one question here that if we are going to set up one manager node means there is no high availability. You are absolutely right here. But I want you to understand scenario when what happens if the manager node goes down. Why availability of manager node is most important part. That's why we are going to set up this lab. Now, before I am going to start this lab, I want to provide proper naming to my all the EC2 instances, because if you will not provide this proper naming here, there is a chance that we make mistake and we are going to execute commands on a different nodes, because total we have 5 nodes. So what I am doing first of all, I am going to my AWS environment, and here I am going to change name of host 1. I am going to say that it will be manager 1. Right now I am just going to change this from my AWS console. It is not going to affect configuration of my EC2 instance. It is just for the display purpose, but I am doing this because I don't want to make mistake for upcoming scenarios. Here I am just going to, this will be my manager 1, and here I am going to say that worker node 1 and worker node 2. Now, I am also going to change DNS name of my EC2 instances, because if I will change this, the name will be visible here, and because of this, I will not make any mistake. So, in order to change host name of your Ubuntu machine, you have to use a command known as host name. Because I am logged in as a Ubuntu, so I have to use sudo, and I am going to say host name. And here we are going to give name manager 1. Then going to the host 2. Here I am going to give same command sudo host name and worker node 1. Same way for this one as well, sudo host name worker node 2. Now when you will log off and log in again, this name will be visible. So I am going to use command exit. Now I will log in again, and here I got this name manager 1. Here I will get worker node 1, and same I will get worker node 2. Yes. Now we have other 2 hosts as well, but we are not going to use this because we will use them into the upcoming scenario. So right now we are going to concentrate on these 3 nodes. I just changed the name of this. Now we want to give some command to give the designation of manager to this particular host. So here we have this command. Now first of all, we have decided that we are going to set up this particular host as a manager. So we have to go to the manager node, and then we have to initialize Docker here. So sudo docker swarm initialize will initialize Docker manager over here, Docker cluster over here, and this host will become manager. So I'm going to copy this command, pasting here. Now here I have to provide private IP address of this Docker host. Now I can go to the manager 1 Here I got this private IP. I am going to paste it here. And now this host will become manager. Along with this, it will provide me one command with the token. Now if I am going to use this command, if I am going to paste this command into any Docker host, they will become worker node and it will join this particular cluster. This host will be manager and other two will be worker. So the simple process we have on the worker node, I have to give this command or I can copy paste this command to the worker node. So here I am going to select this, going to press enter, then going to the worker node 1, right click, it will paste your command and enter. This node joined to as a Swarm worker. Going to the worker node 2, going to press enter, this node join as a worker. So now everything is good. Now I want to verify that everything is working according to our expectation. So I have to give command sudo docker node ls. Docker node ls. Now look at this. I am able to get all this. This is my current host, star indicating that you are giving this command from this host. Manager 1, it is ready. Because I have only one manager, it is leader as well. I have two worker nodes and two worker nodes are also active. These are my worker nodes. Now I cannot give this Docker cluster management command here into the any worker node because it is not going to work here. I can give this command on any manager node, but I cannot run this command from any worker node. So everything is good right now. Now, as a final process, we want to deploy service. Here I am going to deploy one service, Docker service create. It will create one service. The service name would be my Nginx. It will create 3 tasks. Each task will run in each Docker host and then it will accessible over the port number 80 of Docker host, and then the task will use Nginx image from Docker Hub. So let's use Ctrl C and paste it over here. Keep this in mind. You can run this command. You can create service from only manager node. You cannot do this from worker node. So I'm going to press enter. As soon as it will create 3 different tasks. If you want to verify this task, you can give the 2 commands, docker service ls my service list will be docker service ls. Now here I have service which is already added and it is working on port number 8080. Now I can give command docker service ps and my Nginx. Now, sorry, service command is wrong here. ps and my Nginx. Now look at this, 3 tasks are running. Each task is running inside each Docker host and everything is looking good. Here we are using Nginx image. Why? Because Nginx will provide us a default web page that we can easily open. Now in order to open this, we have to use public IP of our Docker host. It will open from manager 1, worker node 1 and worker node 2. So it can be opened from any of these 3. We have to make sure that our security group have port number 80 open. So before I am going to open website, I am going to the security. Here we have this security group. And I want to make sure that we have HTTP port 80 allowed. I allowed it because during the editing I got this and I allowed it in between. Maybe you don't have this port 80 allowed. So in this case, what you can do here, you can go to the edit, make sure that you are in the inbound rule and then click on add rule. And from here, select HTTP from anywhere. It will allow port number 80. Because I am already having this, so I am not going to change this. Let me click on cancel here. Now, we want to verify that actually are we able to open the website or not. So let's go to the manager node, copy IP and paste it into the browser. It will open Nginx web page. Same way, going to the worker 1 node. See, this is what the advantage we have, that we can easily find out names and everything because we have proper naming system. Now look at this. I'm able to open website from the manager node and from both of my worker nodes. So everything is looking good. Now, here we have one problem. The problem is what happens if our manager node goes down. Now I can stop my manager node from my AWS console. This is one thing that I can do. But here I am just going to stop service. If you stop the service, it means your host is down. So I'm going to use this command here. Going to the manager node. This is my manager node. Let me use clear. And now if you look at here, I just stop this service. I also going to use Docker socket service. I'm going to stop this as well. So this is like a simulation environment that now we don't have our manager node. This manager is also leader. So now we don't have this. Now, in absence of this manager node, you cannot manage your cluster environment. You cannot give any command from the worker node. If I'm going to give command docker node ls, it is not going to work. Here we have this service stop as well. So if I'm going to give command docker node ls, it is not going to work as well. Of course, my existing task will run. I'm not able to open website from manager node. This is for sure because my manager node is actually not working. Of course, I can able to open website from both of this worker node. It is working. The running task will be not affected, but yes, if it is running from your manager node, it will be affected. Here the problem is,
Sorry guys, sorry to disturb you. I know you all are enjoying the session and suddenly it stopped. But if you want full video or if you want full Docker course having 130 plus videos including projects, you can become our community member. Enrollment link is in description. Moreover, we also provide 24/7 support, weekly lifetime live session with Bhavesh Atara, updates and completion certification as well. Still you have any queries regarding it, you can contact me on my personal number. Thank you.